Another bright sunny day here in Suzuka as we finally get the ARO back underway. We are here at Suzuka Circuit for round 6 of the Hololive GT3 Japan Series, round 2 of the postseason. And oh my gosh, this has got to be a very nice experience to be back here at one of the best circuits in Japan. And speaking of the best circuit in Japan, Suzuka Circuit, let's take a look here at the track map. 5.8 kilometers of racetrack awaits us with 18 corners in total. We're gonna go for around 250 kilometers of racing because this race here is the Suzuka 500. So obviously it's higher rated than other races in the Hololive GT3 schedule. And with that, we're going to be racing for 42 laps here. So we're going to expect a lot of tire wear, a lot of strategy, and a lot of cornering. You can see here there's a lot of squiggly sections in the circuit. I mean, there's a lot of cornering that you need to deal with. You might want to go for a high downforce setup to make use of the S's especially. We've seen target lap times here before when we could be looking at a 2:02.951 here in Suzuka. It's a postseason round, as we mentioned earlier, round 2 of the postseason. And it has been told that it has been regarded as Japan's best track overall. So obviously, hopefully everyone here is going to be excited for the prospective racing here in Suzuka. And speaking of prospective racing, we also wanted to talk about the championship. Here is the championship standings after Boran coming into Suzuka for the Japan Series. We can see here Kento Kai taking advantage of Cal Gibbons' mediocre run in Boram last round for Kento Kai to take the championship lead. I think it's the first time the Aki Rosenthal car has been in the championship lead ever. I don't think they have been in the lead last year. So anyways, behind them is behind Kento Kai is Mohamed Shazren Reza driving for Himura Luna, and with Callie Gibbons in third, that makes it an Anpontan sisters 1, 2, 3 in the overall championship standing. So if you're a fan of the Anpontan sisters idol unit, then we have every reason to be excited for it. Speaking of excitement, Daniel Barger with that win last time out at Boram in Hololive GT3, he now sits 4 for Hoshimachi Suisei. And then we have Jeff Clark finally returning to the Nakiri Ayame ride in 5th for Nakiri Ayame. And then we have Richie Rod for Shirakami Fubuki returning in the number 22 Nissan. Obviously, Fubuki having a new Live 2D and Live 3D in accordance to Nike Shiramito's updated art style. That's why we've seen a bit of a resurgence for the number 22. And for Johan Sinful representing Natsuhiro Matsuri, I think Sinful has every reason to try to bring home a win for Matsuri, given how the best finish for the Matsuri car here was second and was denied of a win by the driver in the number 66 car before Cashew, that is Daniel Bauer. And then we had Crystal Solomon in 9th place for ASCII, Shangri-La into the top 10 for Minato Aqua after a good top 5 finish last time out. And we have Raiji Kaczynski, Atsushi Santana Rao, Irene Nakamura, Kizuhara Liu, and Keiko Takaboshi in the top 15 spots. Fumi's gunning for a comeback up into the top of the standings here for Tokinosora, as does Rim Olgor, Zig Wimberly. For Sean Pauli and Lorenzo Ricci, they just want to try to get a good result, as does all the other drivers. You can see here from 21, 21st on back. For Goyetna, Turner, Liu, Ducien, Perez, Mazzi, Miyuki, Shakareza, Reba, Fabio Mendes, Takeda Adachi, Farah Kamal, Ed Sky, Jeff Rohan, and Dan Evans. And speaking of which, here is the postseason standings after Boram here. As you can see here, we had a change in the points format coming into the postseason. This is to allow a bigger swing in the championship for some of these drivers. You can read this here, and you may want to pause this if you want, because we're going to go straight into the postseason points format here. As you can see here, that is how the postseason points format looks like for the drivers coming into the postseason for both Formula Hololive and Hololive GT3. You can also pause here at this point as we're about to get this qualifying underway finally. So anyways, welcome everyone to Suzuka. We're here for round 6 of the Hololive GT3 Japan Series. The Suzuka 500 is about to get underway. It's literally for the qualifying session. I'm Mama Shazren Reza, and alongside me is Zeke Wimberly in the commentary booth. And Z, what a feeling it is to be back here in the commentary booth, to be back here in this racetrack, and to see these cars barreling down the racetrack.
I would just like to apologize to any viewers and anybody watching the ARO if I am a little bit rusty. I have not been here since like the start of the month or something. I might be a little rusty, but let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Christoph Sellenman barreling down the track right now, going somewhat fast. I don't know how fast he's going, but either way, he is trying to start out this qualifying strong, and hopefully he will succeed in doing so.
So obviously, Crystal Solomon, a big surprise to everyone in the field. Just wanted to remind you that coming into 2023, Crystal Solomon was supposed to drive a Nissan, as ASCII was running a vest top for her Origin Idol uniform. But to the surprise of everyone in the Hololive New Year's Countdown stream coming into 2023, ASCII have made a top swap from a vest top to a corset top, and it has been pretty well received by a good amount of people. And because ASCII switches to a corset top for 2023 onwards, Crystal Solomon is now driving a Honda NSX. Now, we also want to talk about the characteristics of especially Suzuka circuit. As you can see here, there's a lot of corners. There's not much room to breathe on the straights. There are a lot of corners here, and you can see here the Lexus and the Honda cars absolutely excel in the corners, while the Nissan struggles. But fear not for all you Nissan fans, because there's still a few amount of long straights that they can take advantage of.
And speaking of corners, we're gonna go. We probably had to bring this up anyway, so we might as well bring it up in the beginning while we still have time. The Lexus due to guideline changes and everything, they've been like kind of a little bit neutered. So they'll be a little less underpowered, so the Nissan can finally, you know, probably have a little bit of extra, you know, help just taking over on what is primarily a Lexus-dominated circuit.
So anyways, we're gonna go on board Johan Sinful in that number 7 Natsui Ramatsuri Lexus. 4th Lexus to come out of the reduction line for Hololive GT3, coming into the final corner. Let's gonna start this lap here, coming into the main straight here. You can see here we're coming into the main straight decorated with the patterns of the Oshis. You can see here the main straight starting off the lap, coming into the first 2 corners. Use the access road as a reference on when you need to start lifting off and start dabbing the brakes here. You're gonna need to get a good arc coming into the first 2 corners. Exiting turn 2, you have this next section, the S's. You gotta treat this as one section. They may perform only 20, they may form just a little bit of the Suzuka racetrack, but they provide you with a lot of lap time. You can see here, hanging on to 3rd gear. Sinful really wants to carry a lot of speed into the corners, but obviously he has been a bit shallow coming out of Dunlop, so that kind of messes up the exit for Deckner just a bit. And speaking of Deckner here, easy for Deckner, 45.958 in the first sector here. Downshift to 2nd gear for Sinful coming into the under section, and then right-hander before the hairpin. Might want to lift just a bit before coming into the hairpin for a better approach. You can see here, exiting the hairpin, he is pretty okay. Coming into the SS, coming into Spoon Curve, he is pretty up there. You can see here, flat out for any car, except if you're on a bike maybe. And then you use the access road as reference on where you need to go for the braking zone. You can see here, Sinful is bang on correct on where his car needs to be, because he is not too far ahead or not too far not too close behind the back of another driver, so he can really stretch length of this Matsuri car. 137.028 on the 2nd sector, so he is definitely showing a lot of legs. Into 130R, he is definitely downshifting a gear, braking just a bit, because he's not really wanting to tempt fate a lot. And then coming into the final chicane, the Cassia Triangle, brake around just before the Yokohama billboards, you can see here. And then coming into the final corner here, let's see where Sinful's time is at. 2:05.172, currently provisional pole for the Mexican driver.
And noticing that the only one that really came close to that is Fumi. Everyone else is around 2 almost and even like 3 seconds behind. So that proves that they are really bringing at least for sorry, I can't read that, the resolution is too low. But more importantly ever, we are getting more drivers finishing up their first lap at the moment. Showing off their prowess as a driver and trying to bring their A game at the very least.
And speaking of A game, let's take a look at a surprise pole sitter, provisional pole sitter Danilo Goyena for Usada Pecora. 2:04.734, beats Sinful's lap time by around 0.4 of a second. Now we have not seen the Usada Pecora car shine, especially as of late. Given that the Pecora car is only around 21st in the Hololive GT3's overall standings, but to see Goyena finally being up there after trials and tribulations beset the Pecora car, the Goyena is now finally starting to have a fighting chance on maybe trying to get this win here in Suzuka.
To be fair, Goyena does have quite a decent lap time at the moment at a nice 2:04.734, which is, I believe, above average in terms of the time. So that's going to be a relatively hard score to beat for everyone coming there, but they are inviting people to try.
And speaking of which, we have a surprise comeback here. Shazren Rezo with only 0.2 of a second lap time slower than Goyena, but scratch that, Kento Kai is taking himself into the championship battle here once again. You can see here another Honda finally comes up. The track's ramping up, more drivers completing their lap times, And if you thought Goyena is being impressive today, Anita Perez is also showing that she's got what it takes to represent Miko at the highest level, because we haven't seen the Miko car show this level of supreme dominance here for quite some time. We have because the Miko car is actually down in below the top 20, and to see Anita Perez represent Sakura Miko get this high up in the standings is absolutely exciting to see, and that also means we have a Peko Miko front row lockout as it stands.
As for now, anyway, which is honestly quite a exciting sight to see, as you usually don't see these specific drivers up at the front too often. So this is definitely a mix-up as I've ever seen one, and I'm seeing a lot of the drivers that did lackluster last race. They're definitely pulling their A game this race. They're definitely trying to throw some punches. They've been practicing their form and everything, and now they're ready to dance. Gibbons currently in what, like 4th place after the lackluster position he got last time. He's not playing around anymore. He's come to play.
And speaking of drivers not playing around, Farah Kamal is trying to find her mojo back since her regular season split B championship that she has participated. Obviously, she got 5 wins out of 12 races that she has entered last year. But now Farah Kamal, who was kind of there last season, was kind of there this season, but now trying to stake her claim into the top 10. Speaking of which, we thought the Ampontan top 3 lockout in the championship is crazy enough. We have the Ampontan sisters locking up the top, 3rd, 4th, and 5th positions as well. Speaking of which, more improvements here. Tanara comes up in 16th, Wimberley 18th, Samuelman in 20th. They're both stuck behind each other, so that's gonna throw a lot of spanner in the works. I think there's a lot of drivers in the track right now. I think over 30 cars are trying to set lap times here, and they might have to impede each other, just a note, because that's just a lot of traffic.
And with all that traffic will likely come lapped cars within the race, although I wouldn't be too concerned about it, as this is a very cornery track, so it's good that people are gonna have to slow down and everything. But with all that traffic, it can't help but to, kind of stick lap cars, in the back of the mind, maybe for later.
Yeah, and right now we're looking into the current situation here. We have Kento Kai. Apologies, we have to do a bit of an intermission here. Kento Kai currently being stuck behind Hofu Mi. Hofu Mi obviously having a pretty decent run in the last race at Boram. He went from the bottom 15 in the standings to back into the top 20 to try to get his postseason comeback as usual. Because if you remember what happened in the postseason, especially for Fumi is actually, how do we say this, very blisteringly quick on the second half of the season. Let's just hope that we can see Fumi on top of his game, because right now he's quite behind in terms of lap time. He's currently stuck behind in terms of traffic. And meanwhile, we have Shadar Reza, who just had his car serviced in the pits. He's gonna have a bit of a clean air, hopefully, coming into his next lap.
Yeah, the thing with Fumi is they won champion around 2022, and then they drank an absolute boatload, and then there's a hangover that lasted for months, and they didn't really perform very well, and then they've been having a resurgence and everything, and that's great. I love to see drivers, get back on their feet and try to pick up where they left off,
And speaking of which, Fumi, a lot of drivers peeling into the pits for a bit of a servicing, for fresh tires and a good amount of fuel to try to redo this qualifying lap all over again, hopefully not having to deal with a bit of traffic. Apologies here, we just pressed the wrong button. We just put the screenshot button apparently. So anyways, let's take a look into the billboards here. If you want to see your Oshis represented in this Japan race, here are the Oshi ones. We have the Tokinosoro ones, we have the ones from Gen 0, from left to right, Gen 0, Gen 1, Gen 2, and then we have Gamers, and then we have Gen 3, Gen 4, and we have Gen 5, and then coming off to the rightmost section here, we have the Gen 6. So obviously we have 35 of the cars represented in one billboard, so it's nice to see all the members getting represented. So anyways, back into the current situation here. Fastest of the Nissan cars is Sean Goliath, and Goliath is actually ahead of what should be Jeff Clark So Galal might have a good chance to try to steal a few positions. Speaking of which, Shakib Reza improves by quite a bit, now coming up into a 205.6 territory. He's now inside the top 10.
And I believe Shakib Reza was kind of back in the team, so that does mean that they have been improving lap time bit by bit, and for that I am very, very proud.
And proud for all of the Netcos watching. Obviously, Shakib Reza having to live behind the shadow of his older brother, who have seen a lot of success in both Hololive GT3 and Formula Hololive. He aims to try to pull one back against his more successful brother, but he is trying his absolute best, as does Momo Suzunene, who actually does try her best to connect with her overseas audience, despite not being able to speak a lot of English. But she is trying, so we have to applaud Momosuzu Nene's trials to try to appease to the international fans and also the Japanese fans. And that's what Shakib Reza is also doing in the racetrack. Speaking of which, Mokashu up into 7th.
Well, Nene will probably learn English through her many overseas husbands, so that is quite the wholesome future, I think.
And looking into the drivers who have remained in the pit with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go in this qualifying session here, that looks to me that Fumi will end his qualifying session as high as 11. Same goes for Jeff Clark, as high as 12. Tanarao and Kaczynski also finished their qualifying runs. But meanwhile, let's take a look into Shazren Reza, who has been blisteringly quick over the past few sectors. Will he try to stake his claim into the top? Yes, he does. 204, 285, steals pole position right at the death. He has done it once again for the first time since Fuji. And now Richie Rod also providing us with a lot of surprises. First time back in Hololive GT3 since August. He's now up in 2nd.
Being honest, my main allegiance is as a Sukorn, so I love Fubuki, I love Fubuki, but more importantly, however, that was a huge upset as Richie Rod just came out of basically nowhere to steal 2nd place, completely locking out that Peko 1st and 2nd, now bumping that down to 2nd row.
So anyways, there's a 2nd row lockout for the Peko Miko combo, which now means that we have both Shazren Reza and Richie Rod, 2 known successful drivers in Hololive GT3. Shazren Reza has yet to win in 2023. His last win came in Fuji last November. It's almost going to be a year since Shazren Reza last staked a claim into a race win. Now, with the checker flag flying at Suzuka, we have another set of changes up into the top 5. Shogalal gets into 204s. It's still far away from the last time targets, but sometimes we can't meet targets. And meanwhile, Casher gets up to 7. Galal's up to 5th. There's going to be a lot more upsets coming into the end of this qualifying session.
And speaking of upsets, the generally Lexus dominated track, as I said, isn't really being dominated by the Lexuses as Lexus is. But they are currently hovering around 6th through 9th right now, kind of bundled up together within the placements and everything. I want to see what they do in the main race after all these changes to the guidelines and everything, see if they can still keep up the pace with the other drivers.
Speaking of which, Shazren Reza coming into the final corner. He has been up more second of his fastest time in the 2nd sector. Will he see improvement once again? He does improve by 3 thousandths of a second. He is absolutely staking his claim here in Suzuka, coming into the end of this qualifying session. It looks to me with Richie Rod peeling into the pit. It's gonna be Shazren Reza back on pole position for Himemori Luna, and for all the Lunites watching, they have every reason to be excited about, because their driver for their Oshi is back up into the top spot in qualifying. Whether or not he can convert this into the race, we'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, we have Salman improving in 20th. Looking into the last few drivers who are about to cross the line. And then we have Callum Gibbons, and then we have Kento Kai. Let's see if they can improve. Gibbons gets up to 4th place. Kento Kai gets up to 4th. An amazing set of changes here. And you can see we have the last few drivers coming across the line here. We have Rim Olgor coming across the line. Will he see some improvement? No, we will not, because Olga is gonna stay in 9th place. Jeff Rohan is gonna stay where he is as well. Looking into the end of this qualifying session, I don't think there will be any more changes here, as the last driver that comes out should be Nissan, and with that, the end of the qualifying has been done. We have reached the end of qualifying. Shazren takes his first pole position since Fuji earlier this year.
Yippee! This is a very special occasion for all the Lunites, as it has been a year since the Lunites have won a Hololive GT3 race, as you've said previously. So this is definitely an event worth remembering, at least if they win anyway. It's not a guarantee.
And speaking of which, Shazren scoring his first pole since Fuji earlier this year in the Split A race. Shazren will start on pole position for Himamari Luna. Obviously, he has won a lot in Formula Hololive, but to win back in Hololive GT3 is going to be a special sight to see. Speaking of which, Richie Rod gets his Shirakami Fubuki car up inside the front row in 2nd place. Alongside Reza, he does a very good job of getting up there. And then we have Anita Perez in 3rd place, well, in what should have been a Peko Miko 2nd row. But we've seen at the end of this qualifying session, Kento Kai and Kellen Gibbons stealing 4th and 5th right at the death, respectively. You can see Kento Kai representing Aki Rosenthal, Kellen Gibbons representing Roboco in 5th place. And then Daniel Goyena, who was in 4th, gets beaten by both Lexus cars as the Honda gets down in 6th place. Sean Galile has another late qualifying session upset as he gets up into 7th place. His continued improvements into the top 10 are really starting to show. Mohamed Cashew in 8th place. He looks to try to undo his retirement back in Boram, as does Rim Olgor in 9th place. And Irene Nakamura rounding out the top 10 for Akai Hato. Obviously, Cashew representing Ozora Amel, and Rim also representing Ozora Subaru. Johansson for Matsuri starts 11th alongside Shaka Reza in 12th place, 777, 6th row. Fumi starts 13th for Tokino Sora alongside Jeff Clark, 14th for Nakiri Ayame. Parakamal 15th for Yukihana Lamy, with Shiranu Flare driver Keko Takaboshi in 16th. Kizaru Leo starts 17th for Murasaki Shion with Daniel Barger. Incumbent race winner in 18th for Hoshimachi Suisei. Sean Pauly lines up alongside Crystal Salomon in 19th and 20th for Inugami Korone and Aski respectively. Alton Santana and Fabio Mendes alongside each other in row 11 for Nekomata Kayu and Hakoi Koi respectively. Zeke Wimberly for Okabe Miya will start alongside Raiji Kaczynski in 23rd and 24th. Raiji Kaczynski also, of course, representing Yusuke Choko. Hanari Miyuki starts 25th for Amane Kanada. She starts 25th. Ryu starts 26th for Sakamata Chloe, and Maverick Ducien 27th for Shishiro Botan 27. Aaron Massey 28th for Sonomaki Watame. Massey hopes for a very good finish after he also retired last round at Boram. Lorenzo Ricci 29th place, and Cameron Areva 30th place. Italian 15th row for Hosho Marine and Omar Poco respectively. Michael Turner starts 31st for Shirogari Noel alongside Dan Evans in 32nd for Shirogari Noel and Takaralu respectively. Jeff Ron starts 33rd for Tokoyami Toa. Congratulations for Toa for hosting her very first solo live just over a week ago. Ed Scott starts 34th for Kazame Roja. And rounding out the field is Takeda Adachi, 35th for Lapless Darkness. So Z, we're about to get into the start of this race. I want to hear your thoughts coming into the start of this race.
Well, you've obviously got a couple of underdogs mixed in with within the top positions. You've got Shazren Reza, obviously a fan favorite, trying to win for the Lunites as they haven't won since a year ago. Like exactly, it's been since November, and it's just gonna be a fight with, you know, slightly new fresh faces in the front row and everything. You know, people you're not accustomed to in the front row. So it's gonna be interesting to see the results of how this is all gonna play out.
So anyways, we're gonna get this race finally underway with Shazren lining up on the front row, with Richie Rod lining up alongside here. The Suzuka 500 for the 2023 Hololive GT3 Japan Series season is about to get underway, and the lights go out. We're going racing here in Suzuka. Predictably, the Nissans have a very poor start, and that will mean that for some reason, we can see here Anita Perez really stealing a lot of positions at the start. Perez is now up to second here. A lot of drivers shuffling in field position here. You can see here. Let's see if there are any drivers that are going to be messing up at the start of this section here. No messes about here. As you can see here, a lot of drivers going double file at the S's here. You can see here Gibbons trying to battle out with Mohamed Cashew. Gibbons also have a poor start, and Nakamura trying to get herself into the top 10 side by side with Sean Galile, and with the first sector coming to a close, and Reza leads Perez. Ken Tokai is up to third place. Rod's down to fourth. Goyena fifth. Gibbons is about to overtake Cashew once again. There's a massive dogfight for 7th place right now. You can see here Cashew against. Oh, there's been a contact between Galile and Cashew, and there's contact. She gets collected by Irene Nakamura.
Contact. Was that legal? Was that an accident? We do not know. We'll look into that maybe now or probably when this race is over. But either way, the very promising candidate right there just got absolutely T-boned by another car. That's Hololive GT3, folks.
So anyways, we have our first retirement of this race, and that would be Sean Galile sustaining a lot of damage coming into the exit of Degner. Now, I don't think there's a bit of space here for Nakamura, because I think Nakamura dive bomb into a space which closes very quickly, and then we see Sean Galile trying to make a move around the outside, which obviously didn't work, and obviously that resulted in a lot of contact between these two drivers. And obviously, the short end of the stick has to go to Sean Galile. Commiserations for him as he gets punted out from the race. As you mentioned, that is Hololive GT3 for you. Meanwhile, Paulie and Salman get up into 16th and 17th, and Paulie overtakes Salman for 16th place. As you can see here, Shazren is still showing a lot of pace here as he leads this race over Anita Perez. Kento Kai is in third, Rod fourth, Goyena fifth, Gibbons sixth, Cashew seventh, Nakamura eighth, Shakireza gets up to 9. You can see here Fumi makes clear cuts against Olgor to get himself into the top 10.
Now, in case you couldn't tell back then, this track is a nightmare for when your cars are bundled up, and we got 34 of these on the track, so I'm expecting at least a little bit more contact coming in as we get settled in a little bit more.
So anyways, we're looking to have this race get a bit settled, as you've mentioned here, but we're looking into potential battles here. We're looking at Sean Paulie being shuffled again by Crystal Salomon here. He went onto the dirty line there, exiting Dunlop, and now Salomon's gonna try to stick his place into 16th place. He's gonna try to make this move stick, and right now he gets his move done. He re-overtakes Paulie. Salomon's up to 16th place. Meanwhile, we're going to be taking a look into some of the remaining drivers up here. Sinful's down in 13th place, trying to find a way past Jeff Clark and Rim Olgor. And then looking into Nakamura, who is actually getting close to Mohamed Cashew. It's a Gen 1 battle brewing between the drivers in 7th and 8th.
Yeah, we have a big, there's like basically an atomic option going on in the middle right now, where basically if one car were to try to do an overtake, I believe it would cause a huge chain reaction for everything else, causing an absolute quote-unquote nuclear war, and by that I mean a huge fight within the middle ranks, which would be horrible for everyone.
So anyways, we're looking at Nakamura, who already has some kind of front-end damage after that contact with Galile. Looking into the incident, it looks to me it's just a racing incident, because a lot of drivers are bunched up at probably the most inopportune moments. It should be 50-50 between Nakamura and Galile. So I don't think there will be any penalty given. There won't be no further action at the moment. As you can see here, Nakamura tries to find a way past Cashew, but obviously the Nakamura having a poor exit and a bit of compromised aerodynamics with a bit of a bent up front end. So Nakamura's going to try to hang on, but when she comes into the pits, she might have a bit more time trying to service that front end.
So it's overall going to negatively affect both Lyle and Nakamura, although I think it's quite obvious who it affected more. But all in all, it was, again, 50-50, and it just so happened that the promising Sean Lyle got completely T-boned. So.
Meanwhile, we probably have another Lexus Civil War coming in between Rim Allgore and then Jeff Clark, Johan Civil. Meanwhile, there's another overtake for position. You can see here it's a switcheroo between Solomon and Solomon. This time, Solomon gets shuffled off wide, trying to overtake Keiko Takaboshi, it seems, on the dirty line. And that compromises his exit off of Dunlop, and that allows Sean Pauli to steal back 16th.
Currently a lot of fighting between Sean Pauli and Solomon, and it's still going strong with only a half-second gap between the few. And looking more into the timetables at the left, we can see that there is quite a gap between 26 and 27, that being Richie and Ryu. So there could be something going on back there.
Yeah, especially for Ryu, he has been off the pace against Lorenzo Ricci, so he's obviously holding up Maverick Duciem and also Kaminari Reba at the back. And you can see here also there is Jeff Rohan back there in 29. Shazren Reza is still banging in a lot of fast laps, 7/10 faster over Anita Perez. Shazren Reza is on a league of his own.
At least until the great big crash or something unfortunate or whatever. That probably won't happen. But more importantly, however, we are looking into the timetables yet again, and the Lexus Civil War still probably going to happen. The middle is still a mess. The back is doing surprisingly chill, except for like Miyuki Yamauchi. But just about that, everything else is fine.
And right now, looking into Callum Gibbons here, trying to hound the back of Goyena, who's down in 5th. The Pecco Miko combo has already been separated as it stands. You can see here Gibbons having a pretty decent exit off of Dunlop, but coming into this Deckner section, Gibbons just isn't close enough against Goyena. But meanwhile, here's another battle that we might want to pay attention to. The Lexus cars obviously having a lot of pace on the corners, but less power on the straights. So it's about a game of chicken on who makes a mistake. Speaking of which, Zeke Wimberly has been overtaken by Aaron Mazzi because Wimberly has gone off to the dirty side of Dunlop, and now he's paid the price as Aaron Mazzi gets up to 23rd.
How unfortunate for Zeke Wimberly, but looking... I'm tired of looking at this timetable again. Alright, anyway, the back, looking on average about a half a second gap, so we got everything somewhat decent there. And if we were to look back, it seems Ryu is still kind of suffering back there at around 2 full seconds behind Ricci, and holding up the rest of the pack as no one else wants to, crash and everything. So yeah, it's not looking good for the back.
Speaking of which, sad Hololux hours, as you can see here, the 3 Nissan Hololux drivers currently languishing into the bottom 3 positions of the cars still running in this race. And obviously it's not looking good here for both of them. Shazren is still edging ahead of Perez by 0.6 of a second this time. But meanwhile, as you look here, Fabio Mendes in 22nd and Ryu struggling in 27th. It's another bad day for Hololux.
I mean, I guess Koidori is doing okay. I love Koyori. Koyori is so cool.
I mean, if you consider Koyori as one of the more aesthetic looking members, then you have a point, and also her personality, quote unquote. So anyways, looking into Nakamura, despite having damage on that front end, she is still very much in pursuit against Mohamed Cashew. Looking at the gaps here, it was around 0.2 of a second, so obviously Nakamura has the advantage on the straights, and it could have probably seen a bit of a mitigation in the corners. So looking into Nakamura's chance against Cashew, we might not know on who's going to pit first or who's going to pit later, but whatever the case is, once the pit stops come in the next few laps, it's going to be pretty interesting to see, because that's where we're going to be seeing a lot of shakeups.
And speaking of gaps and laps, I believe Gibbons is showing quite a bit of promise. And speaking of showing promise, Wimberley just took Mozzie's spot back. So for the most part, they're just kind of playing a game of switcheroo, you know. And don't think I would skip over that little comment about personality, buddy. But more importantly, however, back to Gibbons. Gibbons, I believe, is showing a lot of promise and everything. They can get really close, and then they kind of bounce back up again. But I believe Gibbons will catch him eventually. I believe.
Speaking of Calvin Gibbons, you are right. He is only 7/10 behind Danilo Goyena and still chasing Goyena, who is actually stuck behind Richie Rod, who's currently stuck in 4th place. Meanwhile, as you can see here, we're looking into the former and current drivers of the Hakui Koyori cars, and you can see Zeke Wimberley tries to overtake at the exit of Spoon, and that's going to end up very badly for Wimberley, and that'll open the door for Aaron Massey to probably steal 23rd once again, coming into Spoon Curve, coming into 130R. Aaron Massey tries to hang it around the inside, but doesn't have the required horsepower, but has a pretty decent exit coming off of 130R. Will Massey try to get close enough? Not quite close enough here. Zeke Wimberley tries to defend very well here, as Wimberley himself is going to try to attack Fabio Mendes, former versus current Koyori driver, battling it out.
And we are looking at the lap times right here, and apparently Mozzie is behind by about a second for the whole lap time and everything, and Mendes and Wimberley about around a 2:08, and Mozzie, everyone's probably below around a 2:09, which definitely will make a difference in this race, I assure you, as I can see Mozzie gaining, you know, gap by, well, yeah, gaining gap by the second.
And as you can see here, Wimberley's gonna try to get very close to Fabio, as Fabio is obviously struggling against Kaczynski. He's losing touch against Kaczynski. You can see here, trying to overtake Fabio Mendes on the outside. You can see here he's opening the gap against Aaron Massey once again. Massey finds the gap down the inside and steals one away from Wimberley once again.
Yeah, again, it's just like a game of switcheroo. They've like swapped positions like 3 times. It's crazy.
And looking into Cal Gibbons again, you can see here Gibbons gets very close again. Goyena, you can see Goyena gets stuck behind Richie Raw. Is also losing touch against Kento Kai. Now looking into the guys in the top 2, it's Perez against Shazren for their first win in 2023 or in Hololive GT3. The Sakura Miko car have seen the car, the Miko P. All of the fans of Sakura Miko have been trying to see the Miko car win, but to no avail. The best finish was second multiple times. He has been the bridesmaid for a lot of times in 2022, and in 2023, the Miko car, who is currently in the bottom 15 of the standings, is gonna try to hound Shazren Reza as much as possible. As you can see, Shazren Reza is no longer able to pull one away from Perez.
Yeah, Perez. I like to imagine they're gonna get second place again, and then they're just gonna suffer yet another second place. You know, it's gonna be like Ballas Mori, where they're gonna do really great, and well, except in the regular season, it's the postseason, but they're gonna do great, and they're not gonna win any games. It's gonna be awesome.
But the crazy part about Ballas Mori, when he basically stood in for well, it's a mixed campaign between Maurice Tremblay and Ballas Mori actually. And actually, to tell the story between the two, neither of these drivers are able to convert their good results into a win. But because they had so good of a consistent finishing, they are able to be more consistent than others, and that is what got them the International Series title for Hoshinobu Muna. That is actually the surprising part, and that's just Hololive GT3 for you. You cannot win. You can just not win any races, and you can still win the championship.
Yeah, but all the other cars will call you a loser and bully you for not getting any wins, though. So, getting a win is highly recommended in Hololive GT3.
And looking into the current state of affairs, Shadreza is now pulled away once again against Perez. We're on lap 7 of this race here in the Suzuka 500 Hololive GT3 race. Again, we're going on board with Sean Pauli. Just wanted to give you a bit of a showcase on Sean Pauli's custom helmet. for the coronate rise. As you can see, he is trying to get close against Takaboshi once again. But the superior straight line speed of the Nissan is probably almost too good for the Honda. But maybe Sean Pauli can get close enough, and that will also mean that Salomon might just also join this battle for 15th place.
Yep, it seems like they're gonna go. Sean Pauli is gonna go. Actually, wait. Oh, yeah, wait, yeah, they are planning on switching spots again. Okay, I got confused for a second. Yeah, if Salmon Man takes Pauli's place again, that'll be, what, like, second or fourth time, somewhere around there that they've switched positions. So it just seems that there's a lot of drivers that are just playing, like, switcheroo with each other, which is kind of funny.
And speaking of getting close to each other, Callum Gibbons is getting very close there to Goyena. Goyena is already starting to lose touch against Richie Rod. Used up too much tires on that first stint, trying to get close or get way too close to Richie Rod. And now you can see here Gibbons trying to find a gap and a spot and basically some space to overtake Gibbons. You can see here Clark has overtaken Fumi in a switchback mode coming into the exit of Deckner. So Clark is now inside the top 10. Fumi is now down to 11th.
And Fumi will just keep on trucking because they're close to Clark anyway, so they'll probably find another opportunity in like the next 2 laps and then it'll switch up. So all in all, everything is great right now.
Oh, you can see here, Richie Rod actually struggled at the exit of Spoon Curve. The rear end just steps out, just doesn't want to give any more grip. He almost spun out there at the exit of Spoon. That just shows you how much Richie Rod is pushing in that Nissan. And meanwhile, Goyena can get pretty close, as well as Callum Gibbons, but that will also open the door for Cashew and Nakamura to also join in on the fun. Speaking of the leaders, Shazren holding in a second faster lap time against Anita Perez as Fumi overtakes Jeff Clark back, exiting 130R.
Yeah, my prediction was right, and praying for myself and all the other Suzuka out there, praying for Buki Cougars does not spin out, hopefully, I think.
And right now, Richie Rod is doing his best right now, not making any mistakes, just trying to hang on to this racetrack as well as possible. At least he has Daniel Goyena playing as his Fox rear gunner. And right now, Gibbons is trying to find a way past Goyena once again. He needs to really use the exit of these corners to his advantage. And now you can see here, he has to be held up there by Goyena. And that will really open the door for Kashia Nakamura to try to pounce.
Yeah, looking around here, yeah, Gibbons with Goyena slowly losing touch to Gibbons. It's gonna be a problem eventually. It'll spring out somewhere in this race. It's only like the 10th lap or so, but I swear that it'll spring up somewhere around the line.
It's a mixed civil war here at the moment. The Nissan and Lexus cars are gonna be battling out between each other. Sasuke Reza has been losing touch against Nakamura over the past few laps here, and now opens the door for Fumi, Clark, Olgor, and Sinful to try their luck on 9th place. Basically try their lucks on 9th place Shakib Reza. And Shakib Reza is trying to hang on to try to finish in the top 10 for the first time in 2023, I believe. And right now looking into Fumi trying to get a good exit off of Spoon Curve. Let's see if Fumi can get close enough against Shakib Reza. Let's see how it goes.
Well, they're trying to find an opening, but they just can't quite find it right now. Still stuck behind. Maybe around this corner if they get close enough, it's about 0.2 of a second, so they probably could make it if on a stretch, but for now they're just idly waiting like a hunter waiting to pounce, you know, on its prey, and the prey is Shakib Reza, so.
And right now, Fumi finding some space, some gaps here to try to make an overtake, but right now you can see here they're just matching each other because Shakib actually puts on a pretty decent defensive maneuver against Fumi to try to basically keep him at bay and to basically still put him against the pet of sharks, that is Jeff Clark, Olgor, and Sinful right at the back.
And I just realized this now, but Shakif Reza is like 11 seconds behind Nakamura, so I guess that means the top 8 are kind of locked in at the moment.
Top 8 is currently locked in unless we have the best strategies coming into play in the next few laps for sure, hopefully. As you can see here, Kento Kai actually gets very close there to Anita Perez. Perez hasn't been up to speed against Shazren Reza. Kento Kai is going to try his best to get himself to second to at least defend his championship lead. Because as it stands, if Kai finishes third and Shazren Reza wins this race, Shazren will be the one that is going to steal the championship lead from Kai in the overall standings.
And that is a big no-no for Kento Kai. So Kento Kai is obviously going to be quite the aggressive go-getter. At least so I would believe, at least what I believe. Whatever, I'm saying a lot of A words, but either way, Kai is trying to go for Perez, that's all you gotta know.
And right now, looking at the Perez's pace, right now it's not looking very good. 204.861 for Shazren Reza, 205.252 for Perez. Kai is only a tenth of a second faster, so right now it's basically, there's nothing much separating between the two, but obviously Perez has the straight line advantage compared to the Lexus, and the Lexus has better pacing in the corners. And looking into Fumi, who is getting closer to Shaka Reza, the two Nissans are actually pulling away against the Nissans, as Clark is still struggling at in the Lexus here, trying their best to try to bring that Lexus up to speed. Meanwhile, we're looking into Cal Gibbons to also try to get close to Goyena. Now we can officially confirm Kashi and Nakamura joining in on the fun.
Yeah, and we just got 6 through 8, just a big problem zone for the most part. And I'd be expecting Kashi to make a move any second now, only about 5/10 away, and it was previously around 2/10. So that does prove that Kashi definitely does have the potential to make a move on Gibbons.
Yes, good to know, Z. And just a reminder that your mic might need to get some improvement, might need to get some adjustment.
I am eepy. Sorry. I am very sleepy at the moment, so I'm kind of leaning into a pillow, and my mic is on my right side, and I sleep on my right side, so it just kind of muffles in there. So.
Okay, while you can rest on your laurel, Z, right now, just wanted to remind you that as what Z has mentioned, Cashew is right now coming in very hot against Callum Gibbons here. The gap's now at 5/10 of a second, and as what Z told us, Cashew might have the ability to overtake Gibbons. If not on the track, he might overtake on strategy once the pit stop starts cycling around. And right now, with 12 laps in, we're about to get closer and closer to the halfway stage. That might be the case. If they're not going to overtake on the track, they might have to think about pit lane strategy. Because you also wanted to mention to you all that Suzuka is a pretty difficult track to overtake. And because of that, you might want to find some strategy to try to get yourself some clean air and basically steal position off of lap times alone.
Well, as we see halftime slowly approaching, which on this 42-lap track would be around 21 laps, I will say that your undercut will be around 15 and your overcut will be around like 30 or so, something around there.
So anyways, looking into the current battles here at the moment, it just gets feistier and feistier. And as you can see here, Keiko Takaboshi not being able to catch up to one of Takaboshi's fellow mates, Kento Kai. And right now she's struggling. And as we've mentioned here, Cal Gibbons got onto the dirty side of Dunlop, and Cashew makes the pass for 6th place. So basically what Z mentioned, he's basically correct, and that's not the thing that we need to talk about, because that has already been settled. Keiko Takaboshi is still holding up a lot of drivers, and Takaboshi is forming a train behind her.
I am literally an oracle, well, not literally, but the idea. But More importantly, however, positions change, and I like watching numbers go up. So, anyway, speaking of numbers, we're looking at the times table. Holly really wants to talk about his spot, as I believe you said it, but Salaman wants Holly's spot. And you know who wants Salaman's spot? Leo. And it's just a giant train of different vehicles. And if one of them messes up anywhere on this thing, except maybe the end, it's gonna cause, I believe, pandemonium.
And speaking of which, as we mentioned here before, really, who was struggling behind Lorenzo Ricci has finally caught back up to Lorenzo Ricci. So basically, all bets are off for all of these drivers. Speaking of which, Fumi is also getting very close to Shakib Reza, but Fumi really needs a good exit off of this final corner to try to mount a charge against Shakib Reza. And right now, there's still no pit lane movement. The only car who's still in the pit lane is still basically Sean Goliath, who have his car absolutely battered at the start. So meanwhile, Fumi gets close, but not close enough. And as you can see here, back into the back, there's still a lot of cars trying to see who gets to be ahead of Takaboshi. And whoever gets ahead of Takaboshi might just be ahead come the end of this race. Might have to be ahead of each other come the end of this race.
Yeah, it all depends because, you know, actually probably not. Realistically, it's a 9-second gap, so it would all depend on pit lane tactics and logic and, you know, all that boring stuff we don't have time about, and no, like, fighting. So, for now, for Takaboshi, if you can pass Takaboshi, you should be able to get some very clean air, and you'll have your 15th place secured for, like, six laps.
And looking into another battle that could be forming here, there's another battle pack forming. There's Shakib Reza ahead of Fumi, ahead of Clark, Olgor, and Sinful. And as it stands, we have 3 Nissans on the top 10, 4 Hondas in the top 10, and 3 Lexus Scots in the top 10. That's as much parity as you can see here in the standings. As you can see here, Fumi tries to find a way past Shakib Reza, trying to get close at least so that he can probably line up alongside coming into 130R.
Well, I guess it is nice to see that the Lexus is, the Lexi, that's what I'm going with now. The Lexi have not been completely neutered and are still performing decently on the track they dominate at. So, and it's also very nice to see Shazren Reza enter the pits.
So he's gonna try to commit to an undercut strategy. Let's just hope that Shazren doesn't get caught up behind traffic that's gonna hamper his lap time. As you can see here, Anita Perez takes the lead of the Suzuka 500 race here at Suzuka Circuit. And for all of Miko P, they have to rejoice because they haven't seen the Sakura Miko car on top for a long time, probably since July last year. And as it stands, Shakib Reza is gonna exit just in the middle of Fumi. And just as we say that, Fumi gets ahead of Shazren Reza, and with that out of the way, Shazren might have another obstacle that he might have to deal. He might need to try to get an overtake on Fumi and Shakib Reza if he wants to stake his claim on maintaining his race lead. Because if not, Anita Perez might just be able to steal home a win.
And the problem is they have around, actually, realistically, yeah, Perez actually does have a very good chance. So 11 seconds and then 13 seconds. So that adds up to 24 seconds, assuming a pit lane. Yeah, I think Perez actually does have a fairly decent chance of stealing this win. That is very, very stupid, and that probably should not have happened, but it did, so what goes.
So anyways, we have Salaman being overtaken by Kizuhara Leo as he finally gets shuffled behind as he got onto the dirty side of Dunlop, and Kizuhara Leo makes the pass onto Salaman. But right now, as we're about to see this pack continuing on, battling between each other, we're also going to be paying attention on the advances of Shazren Reza and to see where his lap times are going to end up and where Perez's lap times end up. Because if Perez ends up being faster than Shazren Reza, even after Shazren Reza has pitted, then basically everything is just going to come to absolutely nothing, as Shazren Reza is probably going to be losing out to Perez in the end, maybe.
Well, to be fair, Perez does have very open air at the moment, so they don't have to be as cautious. Well, obviously they got to be cautious, but they don't have to be as cautious because, you know, they're not going to get T-boned, home run, struck like, you know, Sean Delisle out of nowhere if they're not careful. So, you know, it's a lot easier. And speaking of, you know what, that doesn't even make sense. But we're really just past Mountain.
And there's another chain reaction move coming up here as Wimberly tries to make a move against Mazio, which he succeeded. Richie is thinking of a move against Hanori Miyuki. Meanwhile, Miyuki, we have got another few drivers coming into the pits. We have Crystal Solomon, we have Zeke Wimberly, we have Maverick DCM coming into the pit stops. As we can see, Hanori Miyuki coming into the main straight into turn 1. And let's see if there's going to be a bit of contact. No contact between these two Gen 4 drivers. No contact coming into turn 2 and coming into the exit. It's going to be Hanori Miyuki edging ahead of Aaron Mazzi. And what should be a very nice battle. As you can see here, Salman, Wimberly, and DCM confirmed to have been coming into the pits.
So yet another undercut strategy, which I don't blame them. I feel like the undercut is the way to go on this map, as overtaking seems very, very hard. So getting position while their opponent in the pits, I think that's genius. So.
And speaking of genius moves, you can see here Shazren Reza is still managing his pace pretty well. We're gonna find out for sure at the end of this lap if Shazren is able to improve against Anita Perez, or at least match. Because if Shazren Reza is slower than Perez, then Perez might want to use this opportunity to try to eke out a gap. And as you can see here, Perez is matching Kento Kai just about stride for stride in terms of lap times. You can see here Fumi trying to make a move against Shakib Reza, but he's still not close enough. Shakib Reza with another robust defensive move, and now Shakib Reza is getting very close to Fumi. Will he make a move down the inside?
The answer to that is not yet.
And as you can see here, Fumi is hot on the heels against Shakib Reza, and at that same point, Fumi will also need to pay attention to the shark that is Shakib Reza at the moment. You can see here Olgo and Sinful also coming into terms side by side between the two Lexus cars. And as you can see here, will Sinful try to defend against Olgo? Will the answer be yes? Will the answer be no? They're still side by side. Sinful makes a move in up to 11th place.
But yeah, we are having quite a few battles now that everyone's going into the pits and everything, which is quite nice to see. You know, everyone pitting, everything's, well, not calm, but everyone, for the most part, I'm seeing a lot of people doing undercut, which is interesting. Well, I said that was probably the best strategy for this kind of track, but we'll see where it takes me.
And right now we have confirmation Shazren Reza has lost 3 seconds over Anita Perez. Anita Perez set a 2:05 last lap. Shazren Reza has set a 2:08 this lap. The race is now back. Now this race is pretty much back on. And right now, if Fumi can try to at least upset Shakib Reza, Shazren could at least steal a position away from Fumi.
The thing is that Shakib is just really annoying at the moment, holding on to 8th place like a little goblin and refuses to let it go. And that's annoying Fumi and Shazren as well, because they're trying to wait for Fumi to make a mistake, but they're not really opening up or anything, so it's just kind of a disadvantage for Shazren.
And right now, coming into 130R, Shakib, even with the struggling car that he has at the moment, he's going to try to make a move once again. And Shazren Reza is going to get very close. Will he make a move down the inside once again? Will he tempt a move down the inside? The answer is no. As you can see here, Gibbons and Kento Kai come into the pits. This will be a good litmus test to see if Shazren Reza can at least stay ahead of Kento Kai coming into the main straight. It's gonna be pretty close coming into the line. Fumi, Shazren Reza is currently under pressure from Johan Sinful. Shazren Reza is able to overtake Kento Kai just about, which means Shazren Reza might still have a fighting chance against Anita Perez, but the gap is just closing down one by one. And also Shakib Reza has finally come into the pits.
Alright, now that that's dealt with, everything should be pretty okay now. You know, because now that that's done, everyone can finally be a little bit more aggressive in the middle, and that's going to clear up a little bit of air.
And speaking of which, Shazren is ahead of Kento Kai crucially. This would also mean that if they stay as they are, assuming Perez wins, Shazren finishes second, and Kento Kai finishes third, Kai will still maintain his championship lead in the overall standings. But obviously, nothing is certain here in Hololive GT3, as we can see a lot of surprises coming in and out of this weekend. And you can see here Shazren trying to at least be up to pace with Fumi if Fumi can match Perez's lap time. Meanwhile, Leo and Sean Pauli just went side by side. Leo stole 14th place away from Sean Pauli, and Sean Pauli again went into the dirty side of Dunlop, and he'll not pay for it. Meanwhile, Tannerau, Barger, Kaczynski, and then we have Mendes, Miyuki, Mazzy, Richie. All these drivers are still trying to battle it out. Looking into Perez, still a 205.839. So it's still pretty much anything goes. You can see here multiples of 11 battling for second place here. Danilo Goyena against Richie Robb. But that now comes to an end as they have come to the pit. And actually, if you want to talk about multiples of 11, it actually stretches up from second to fourth.
Do you think... wait, hold on. Did Richie Robb go into the pits?
No, it's Danilo Goyena.
Oh, dang. Oh, the colors messed me up. Alright, my bad. That was a minor brain error right there, I guess. But Goyena entering the pits, you know, as you said. And speaking of entering the pits, Fumi has entered the pits, which I am pretty sure is a good thing. Because that means Shazren gets it, I think, in this position.
And right now, it's very crucial for Shazren to have a lot of clean air right now, as now he has the clean air that he needs to really use those tires in that second stint to try to edge ahead of Anita Perez. And right now, the gap is only about what should be around 30 plus seconds, around just under 40 seconds. Because as it stands, Shazren is going to still edge ahead of Perez by pit strategy, but the gap will drop down from 8 seconds to maybe just around 3 to 4.
This would be a very good time for Perez to pit right now. At least I believe they still have the gas and everything. Just, you know, get some tires and then blitz through everything. And I think that would be a somewhat decent idea for Perez to do, but that's just me.
But speaking of which, Shaki Reza pitted 1 lap or 2 earlier than Hofumi, and looking at Hofumi, he is already edge ahead of Shaki Reza. So maybe the overcut strategy is still there for Perez to try to take advantage. It's not like Perez is getting into the 206s or anything, because, oh, speaking of which, he does get into the 206s. But we're gonna need to take a look into Shazren Reza's lap time. If Shazren Reza can improve by around 207 or 206, that will mean that it's now high time for Perez to come into the pits. But I'm not pretty confident that she might pit later this early into this race.
It depends for the most part. It's like, for the undercut, that I believe that would be safer, as it would mean that you'd be able to blitz through. You know, Shazren Reza would probably have to pit again, so you can get that air and then, you know, rinse repeat. But the overcut could also be more rewarding as well if Shazren Reza, who gets a 205, which is crazy, by the way. So that means, yeah, Perez, that is a significant improvement Perez might want to take.
And speaking of Perez, it's probably now high time for Perez to come into the pits and have her car serviced, because Shazren Reza is gaining a lot of time back. He is literally hounding the race leader one by one, as this, basically this game of chess has taken a huge turn in Shazren Reza's favor. And meanwhile, more battles here, as you can see here. And speaking of battles, more battles into the pit lane as Richie comes into the pits, as does Dan Evans. You can see here Fumi just showed to us that the overcut strategy is still on, even though it's only for like 2 or 3 laps. And meanwhile, we still have a lot of drivers who have yet to pit. Look, we have Sinful, Al Gore, Farakama, Nakamura, and then we also have Mohamed Cashew, Perez, Rod. And for the drivers who have already pitted, just wanted to show you in the pit stop counter, Shazren Reza leads the drivers who have made their pit stops over, let's say, guys like Kento Kai, Callan Gibbons, Danilo Goyena, and all that stuff. So Shazren Reza still has his aces up his sleeve if Perez can catch up as soon as possible. Because right now, the tires are fading away for the Miko driver.
This is not a good time to screw around Perez. It's for the love of all of your... Everyone is counting on you, Perez. Okay, yep, alright. They took my advice, they're going into the pit. That was all me.
Kind of, yeah, but he also realized that Shazren Reza is really hounding Perez's in terms of lap time. Shazren Reza is about to come into the Casio triangle. Let's see if it comes to anything, because right now Perez is still stuck onto the pit lane here. Shazren Reza is exiting the final corner. Perez finally gets this car up into movement. It's gonna be pretty close. Shazren Reza coming into the main straight. Perez still trying to edge ahead, but it's not going to be enough. Shazren Reza is going to be stealing back the race lead away from Perez. And crucially, Perez still exits ahead of Kento Kai.
The thing is, though, Perez still has a chance. It's only 2 seconds to have the fresher tires, full tank of gas. And I think this gas might be able to, last them long enough maybe to go straight to the finish line, if I'm not mistaken. I probably am, but this is a very nail-biting, very even game.
And right now they're matching each other just about well, they're matching each other about stride for stride, as we mentioned earlier. Here you can see here Kento Kai still hounding against Johan Sinful, and as it stands, Kento Kai is down in 3rd place in terms of net positions. This would mean that Kento Kai will lose the championship lead to Shazren Reza in terms of the overall standings. And as for the postseason standings, it's gonna be a slam dunk win for Shazren Reza, who I think have never won in Suzuka yet. He has seen wins in Okayama, he has seen wins in Sepang, he's seen wins in Fuji and Boran, but not at Suzuka yet. And if Shazren Reza can win at basically Honda's home track and a Honda NSX, that's gonna be another that's gonna add to an already fairy tale win.
And but that might not happen again, because even then, Kento Kai is still in the works right now, at only about a second behind Perez and everything. Although that gap may grow and shrink over time, but Kento Kai does still have a chance to maintain their race lead, even if Shazren Reza gets 1st place.
Looking into the sector times for Anita Perez and Shazren Reza, as you can see here, Perez is actually 0.2 faster on Sector 2 and a 10 faster on Sector 3, so it's not lost on Perez to try to pull one back against Shazren Reza coming into this. We already passed the halfway stages of this race, and right now Perez still has the small chance that Perez might still try to overtake Shazren Reza for the race lead.
It is definitely possible. This is basically a stalemate. It's all up to fuel lineup now. Like, if your fuel isn't enough, it's all up to that. And speaking of fuel, we have Michael Turner, Miyuki, and Fabio Mendez entering the pits probably for fuel.
And speaking of which, Leo and Matthew also went side by side on that main straight, as you've seen here. And Leo finally making the move stick, and he's now up into 17th place. We just wanted to remind you that Real Leo has yet to pit in this race. So obviously, it's gonna be a short-term success for Real Leo as he puts that Chloe Honda up into 17th place as it stands. And right now we are seeing a lot more shuffles into the standings here as we speak. Meanwhile, as we can see here, Perez is still 2.7 seconds behind. Shazren Reza has now dropped down to maybe 2.6 seconds. With those fresher tires, Perez might be able to slowly but surely steal something away from Shazren Reza. As you can see here, when Shazren Reza came out exiting the pit lane after starting his 2nd stint, he was stuck behind traffic. Perez didn't have such problems. And so Perez might still be able to nurse the tires better to try to get a win, get closer to Shazren Reza. And remember, the gap was 8 seconds, and now the gap's now dropped down to 2.6. Now it's dropping even more to 2.5.
Yeah, it is not looking good for Shazren Reza right now. And in a perfect world, which doesn't exist, I lied. It's over for Shazren Reza because they're whittling that gap down slowly between Nakamura, but they won't be able to whittle it down enough, like ever, to get that Nakamura as a shield against them.
And speaking of battles here, we are starting to see the first effects of lap cars. At Sky currently last on the track, 34th place for Kazama Iroha. It's currently slowly holding back Rod, Makashiu, and Nakamura. There's going to be a feisty Gen 1 battle. It's going to be a replay as we seen last year at Suzuka in the postseason. And right now, we're going to be seeing a replay for these three cars battling for the top spot.
Yeah, this is starting to become a lot of a problem for just about everyone in the front rows. So that gives especially Perez a lot of freedom to do what they wish. Look for very they can have a very high standing for attack.
And right now, looking into Cashew gets very close into Richie Rod, but Rod has the straight line advantage. The VR38 EDTT propelling the Nissan forward better than the Lexus car would ever have. And now coming into 130R, let's see if Rod could get a bit too close to the lap car of Ed Sky. As you can see here, Cashew coming into the exit of the Casio triangle, and as you can see here. Coming into the main straight, into the start-finish line as they are about to start lap 23 for Sky just started lap 22, so obviously there's a lap difference between the two, but we're gonna need to pay attention to them later. And as you can see here, Perez 2.5 tenths minimum, 2.5 tenths faster than Shazren and Reza on that last lap. The gap's now dropped down to 2.2 seconds.
And it is rapidly declining and deteriorating as we speak at the moment. So it's looking really bad for Shazren and Reza.
Well, so there's a hang on to this net race lead coming into the final stages of this race. We'll have to wait and see as Kizuhara Leo comes out of the final corner, still trying to find a way past Keiko Takaboshi, and looking into the rest of the prospective drivers up on top. You can see here at Sky is providing a lot of headache for these Gen 1 drivers up front, but still, it's still a very successful day for Gen 1 drivers. You can see here 5 of the 7 drivers inside the top 7 positions are basically occupied by Gen 1 members. You can see here Rod, Cashew, Nakamura, and then we have Kento Kai and Johan Sinful making up these spots.
Gen 1, that wouldn't happen actually now that I think about it, but it would be cool. Gen 1 like 1 through 5, you know, that would be really cool, but it probably won't happen.
But that will require Shazren Reza and Perez to basically muck up at the end of this race to have even a chance of the Gen 1 cars to basically have a sweep onto the top 5 positions. And speaking of respective battles here, you can see here, oh, it's a bit shallow there for Richie Rod, and that might allow Nakamura to try to pounce on Cashew, but Nakamura has a pretty bad exit there, and Richie Rod finally comes into the pits. Nakamura is going to use this opportunity for Cashew, because Cashew had to lift off because the sudden decision for Rod coming into the pits is actually messing up with Mohamed Cashew. Nakamura is going to try to steal the race lead, only the gross race lead away from Cashew. And it looks to me that Nakamura is going to be leading in Hololive GT3 for the first time in her career.
That is completely crazy. I'm not gonna lie. And now Cashew got out at around 2nd place. Hold on. What?
Yes, because they have yet to pit. Remember, they have yet to pit. They are the only two drivers who have yet to pit, and right now they're still stuck behind Ed Sky, and they're still gonna be stuck behind this lap car, and that's also gonna play into the hands of Shazren, Reza, and Perez, because remember, these two are the actual drivers fighting for the race lead.
Oh, I forgot. I thought Cashew pitted for a second. Okay, again, I'm a little tired and a little rusty, so I'm not doing the best right now.
Don't worry, it happens for everyone. But anyways, looking into the current battles here at the moment, Cashew still in second place, trying to find a way past Irie Nakamura for what should be the race lead. And right now we have Sheldon and Reza trying to find a way past and at least get close to Nakamura and Cashew, and to try to at least flex his muscles even more, despite these two drivers up front. They have yet to pit, so Reza is going to try to stake a claim onto these two drivers. You can see here Nakamura tries to find a way past at Sky, and if Nakamura isn't careful, Cashew is going to try to bite one back.
And looking here, it seems that lap car in front of Nakamura is really giving Cashew some time. Planning and everything, and it looks like Cashew still isn't making a move, which is very, very painful for me to watch. Impatient making a move. But more importantly ever, Perez is rapidly approaching. It's only about a second gap, but it's only a second gap for Shazren Reza, and Cashew goes into the pits.
And that will give some breathing space for Shazren Reza and Perez. Both of these drivers know that with the lap car of Ed Sky coming up, and with how Nakamura herself is struggling to overtake, it's gonna be something to watch out for coming into the end of this race, as the battle for the race lead might just come down to lap cars. And speaking of Nakamura, I just want to remind you this. Hachama is on the road to recovery. She has been missing in action since the 4th festival, and to see Nakamura in the lead for Akai Hato after John Mead brought bring the Hatons a win. After Mead brought Hatons a win in the Motegi round in Hololive GT3, it's nice to see the Hachama car finally showing a lot of light and giving a lot of Hatons some hope while Hachama is recovering.
Oh, I think some people messed up there. No, maybe. Ron, can you check pit stop real quick?
Just wanted to check antenna route. Right now we are looking into antenna route. Right now we're taking into look here. They're going for an overcut strategy. With the last drivers who have yet to pit are currently Nakamura, Sinful, Takaboshi, and Leo, at least onto the top 26 positions.
Alright, so now except maybe for Shakif Reza, I think that maybe he pitted twice, I don't know.
We'll check on that later, but right now the big battle is currently brewing here between Nakamura and Shazren Reza. Shazren Reza gets very close to Nakamura. If Shazren Reza can't dispatch of Nakamura, he's going to be pretty much exposed to Perez at the back. There's going to be a battle for the race lead. Remember, Perez has fresher tires against Shazren Reza, and now this would mean that this is the battle for the race lead for both the gross race lead and the net race lead. And right now, Shazren Reza is under pressure from the drivers at the back and at the front to try to at least maintain this net race lead. Remember, Nakamura has yet to pit. Shazren Reza has already pitted. Perez has already pitted, actually later than Shazren Reza by about a few laps, so around 3-4 laps, and that might play into the hands of Perez coming into this final third of this race.
I think you're underestimating Kento too, because that lap car. Okay, pause for a second, we're back. Anyway, Kento Kai really does have a strong chance of maybe making an upset, so, because they're in the prime position to do so. They've already pitted and everything, so I wouldn't doubt them.
And speaking of which, Shazren Reza finally makes a move against his fellow compatriot Irie Nakamura. Finally, he gets into the gross and net race lead, and that will at least give him some breathing space. As you can see here, Nakamura is between Shazren Reza and Perez, but he also still has Ed Sky to overcome, because if he can overcome Ed Sky, which I just want to remind you, the Nissans are very difficult to overtake on the straight because of their engine advantage. that might still be a bit nervy for Shazren.
Yeah, especially because Perez is, and even like Perez himself, that's not the big issue. I believe Kento Kai is the big issue, because that it was originally around a 9/10 of a second. For a gap, it's dropped down to around 7/10, and probably close down soon or open up. I don't know, but either way, Kento Kai does have a chance of making it into a second place finish, which will keep them in first place.
And right now, we are looking if Nakamura is finally peeling into the pits. The answer is gonna be yes. Perez and Kai are now free to battle the race leader. And speaking of Kento Kai, I think you are right. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Kento Kai, because Kento Kai is absolutely raging on to Perez's gap, and probably wants to try his hand onto second place to at least preserve his championship lead coming into round 7 at Autopolis in the next week or two. And because right now, these three drivers are currently on the hunt for their next wins in Hololive GT3. For Shazren and Perez, with their first wins of 2023, and for Kento Kai, his first win in Hololive GT3, and for Aki Rosenthal Alexis, the second win in Hololive GT3, because Liza Damacha had already won at Tsukuba in June.
But yeah, as we're looking around here, it's around 5/10 of a second all around, and we have, I believe that's the lap car of Ed Guy right there. It behind them and everything, giving them a little bit of comfort, even though Gibbons is in 4th place around 14 seconds away. But you know, comfort is comfort. But Perez is still really on the prowl for Shazren, so we'll have to look at once this lap is done to see if there's a real advantage over all three of those cars.
Okay, just wanted to remind to everyone, I'm just gonna drop something in the comments, in the comment section here, and just wanted to remind you all that if you want to join the ARO basically if you want to join the list of drivers in the ARO, there is a forms link that we are going to be sending you, and it's in the chat. You can see here in the live chat. If you want to join the ARO, if you want to fill in the forms, you can feel free to do so in the comment section. If you want to be part of this racing experience here, you can fill in the forms in the comment section. Let us know what your OC is going to be and what racing series you're going to participate. We're going to try to get in contact with you as soon as possible. But anyways, back to the main story. Shazren, Perez, and Kai. All three of them are now budged back up together once again for what should be about for the race lead. It's currently a massive game of chicken.
Yeah, no one's kind of making a move right now. It's all set up and really lame, looking for disadvantages and everything. But speaking of disadvantages, Shazren kind of at a little bit of a disadvantage right now, because Perez seems off.
Oh, that's gonna be a bit. I think that's the wrong move for Shazren to go into the dirty side of Dunlop, and that might open the door for Nita Perez to try to make a move, but Shazren immediately closes it back down before Perez could go alongside. Great defensive move there for Shazren there to try to maintain his race lead, but of course there's still the massive obstacle that is at Sky. And right now, Sky is going to be providing us with a lot of blockading action here for the three leading drivers.
It's ironic that last place is basically deciding who's the winner right now. But as soon as Shazren overtakes that lap car, it is smooth sailing. So Perez and Kento Kai are basically on a time limit right now.
Well, basically, for the drivers at the back, they'll need to try to pass Shazren as soon as possible before Shazren makes a move against Sky. Right now, you can see here, it's going to be a side-by-side battle between the Miko and Luna cars. what was supposed to be Hollow Baby is now going to be a rubbing between the two, coming into 130R and into the Casio triangle. Will Perez convert this into the race lead? Shazren is going to try to defend with all he can. There could be contact between the two. Shazren is going to try to have a very good exit off of the Casio triangle, coming into the final corner. Shazren manages to defend.
That was very, very scary right there. And Kento Kai looks very, very opportunistic. I think they'll try to make a move really, really soon. Like, really, really soon.
And right now, Kento Kai is, as you can mention, he's trying to gun for any opportunity he can to stay in second place, because that is a position that he knows he must be in if he wants to try to stay in the championship lead coming into the next round at Autopolis. The Suzuka 500 is hyping up absolutely and massively. You can see here two drivers coming into the 30 side of the Dunlop corner here, and that's not going to do them any favors, because right now we have another few movements in the pit lane. Takaboshi and Leo coming into the pits at the same time. But meanwhile, Perez against Shazren and Reza, it's still there's still nothing between them, I don't think.
Yet. I'm pretty sure that'll change. Hold on. Since when did Shakif Reza reappear in 12? He was like teleported there or something. When did he get there?
Just a reminder that he actually pitted quite early into this race. That probably explains why he is where he is at the moment. If you want to look into the tires strategy, he has actually had one of the older tires here at the moment, 12 laps. Salomon has 14, Shalreza has 15, so he's one of the undercutters in this race.
Alright.
But meanwhile, looking into Perez, trying to find an opportunity against Shazren Reza once again. Will they go side by side once more? The answer is going to be no. It's not as close as it was last lap, but Perez is trying to keep tabs on Shazren Reza as much as she can. As you can see here, Perez trying to find as much of an opportunity in space against Shazren Reza. She knows that if Shazren Reza tries to make a move against Ed Sky, or Shazren is really trying to be tempted to make a move on Ed Sky, Perez is going to try to make use of that mishap if Shazren Reza isn't able to make the move stick.
Yeah, it is very risky for Shazren Reza to try and overtake on Ed Sky. But it's also risky not to, so Shazren Reza is kind of at a dilemma. Do they try holding it off and using Ed Sky kind of as, you know, like, oh, if you attack me, it'll be like...
Oh, look at Kento Kai! And Kento Kai actually makes use of a mistake against from Anita Perez, and you can see here a lot of these drivers are being bunched up. As you can see here, Ed Sky are actually blocking Shazren Reza and Perez, and now Perez is gonna use Shazren Reza as a pick. Perez is gonna be using Ed Sky as a pick to try to steal the race lead for Shazren Reza, but it's still gonna be in the Luna Honda's favor.
Yeah, it is so over. It is just so over.
It's not over yet for Shazren Reza, as he still has around 12 and a half laps to try to fend off at least both Perez and Kento Kai. And now looking into the gap, it was 14 seconds, the gap between Kai and Gibbon. It's now dropped down to 2.9.
Dude, which baby is winning?
Well, there's only one baby according to Luna, because Luna says she wants to be a quote-unquote sexy adult, but we can digress. Well, they both act like babies in a sense. So anyways...
She is not her. She is not her. She is not an adult.
Well, technically, yeah, but looking into Shazren Reza there, he now has some breathing space. Look at Kento Kai trying to make a move against Perez, but I think he's too far back to try to make a move, a lunge against Perez at 130R. But now, looking into Shazren Reza, let's see if he can try to weasel his way past Ed Sky, because right now, the Iroha Nissan is providing us with a lot of blockading movements. As you can see here, no proper blue flag rules in Assetto Corsa. That's why we are seeing lap cars being a massive influence on the battle for the race lead. Coming into the main straight, Perez is trying to come very close to Shazren Reza, but will it be an overtake? We'll have to wait and see. A lot of racing action we actually got to see at the exit of the S's and coming into the Dunlop corner. And right now, who's going to be chickening out this time?
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Perez this time. It was like Kento Kai last time, so.
Oh, yeah, I think you may be right. As you can see here, gone into the dirty side of the Dunlop corner here, and now Kento Kai is gonna try to come close, but he's not close enough. I think he's already close enough. He's already made the move, coming into Degner. Kento Kai is finally ahead of Perez, and now Perez's race slowly becoming undone, and Kento Kai can now breathe a slight sigh of relief as the Aki Rosenthal Lexus continues to be in the lead of the overall standings.
For now. But what is more important, however, is if Kento Kai could do like a really, really cool double overtake. That would be totally awesome. It probably won't happen, but that is like a dream come true.
Coming into basically 12 laps to go here in the Suzuka 500 race here in the Suzuka circuit, round 6 of the Hololive GT3 Japan Series season. Right now, Will Shazren trying to make a move against Ed Sky. He's probably getting close, but not too close. As you can see here, Kento Kai gets pretty close against Shazren Reza. But look at Perez trying to pull one back against Kai. Will it be close enough? The answer is no. And right now, the top 4 are still separated by just under 2 seconds.
Gibbons seems to be getting into the mix for some reason now, so I guess Gibbons has a chance of getting 3rd place. Yeah, I doubt he'll get anything higher than 3rd, but.
But right now, Benito Perez is gonna try to pull one back against Kento Kai, and this will mean that Shadreza might still the championship lead once again. But Perez is still behind Kento Kai. She couldn't get close enough to Kento Kai. But meanwhile, Shadreza, will there be another case of chickening out for Shadreza here in the S's?
We'll have to wait and see. And it is, yeah, they're chickening out again.
And right now, who's going to be messing up at Dunlop? We're going to have to wait and see. And as you can see here, Kai now gets into the dirty side of Dunlop. He's going to be under pressure from Anita Perez, who might have the better line coming into Degner. And will it be the case? But it's still not going to be close enough. Kai still manages to defend very well.
Yeah, I think Kento Kai actually getting 2nd place is very likely, but I don't know if they'll be able to get Shazren Reza, because the thing is that they're just like using that. They can use that as a pick, that's guy. But speaking of using as a pick or something, Richie Rod just took over Cashew, so Sucorns stay winning per usual. I am a proud Sucorn. I will die this year if I was a rookie, but.
So anyways, Richie Wright getting up to 6th place for all this combo to watch and to admire. Richie Wright back up into 6th place. You can see here, Shazren Reza is still trying to find a way past Ed Sky, but I think he has messed up the exit here, and that's going to cause a Constantino effect. You can see here, Perez and Kai get very close. Gibbons is literally having a popcorn on his hand, just watching this battle unfold.
And oddly enough, they're not participating in it that much. At least not yet anyway. They seem to be getting somewhat close to Perez though, which could be a problem for any of Perez's future attacking plans.
Right now, coming into lap 33, 10 laps to go here in the Suzuka 500 race here in Suzuka Circuit. You can see here, Shadreza still edging ahead of Kento Kai by 0.6 of a second. Obviously, it's about just surviving in this top 4. Any mistake, any one small mistake, and you're out of this battle entirely. It could be any one of these 4 drivers who might be able to take home this win. And as you can see, Shadreza takes the wide approach, trying to find a way past the Iroha car of Ed Sky. But meanwhile, Shadreza trying to hang on for dear life as much as he can. But now he goes wide, and now Kento Kai is gonna try to go side by side. The 2 of the 3 Ampota sisters are gonna go at it, and now Kento Kai is gonna steal the race lead.
it's over. It's actually over. The baby first and second place it's gone. It's over, crushed.
But meanwhile, Gibbons is not over yet and trying to put Perez's hopes, still Perez's chances to bed. As you can see here, Gibbons has passed Perez, but they're still side by side. As they head into Spoon Curve, they're still side by side. But meanwhile, Perez manages to defend third place. Shazren Reza's race lead, his dominance seemingly comes to an end in a whim because he has basically messed up. Just wanted to check on the current situation here. We are slightly lagging, but we are still good. We have dropped a few frames, but we're still good. But meanwhile, we're looking into Kento Kai, who is actually losing a good amount of touch against Shazren. Remember, the Lexus cars have a slight disadvantage coming into the main straight. The Lexus cars do not have the horsepower advantage that the Hondas have. If Shazren can get a very good exit off of basically the final corner, Shazren is gonna probably try his best to steal something from Kai.
It's still anyone's game for the most part. I mean, it's probably Kento Kai is probably getting close to second, but either way, this could be the first win in forever for in Hololive GT3 for the Lunites, as we kept mentioning over and over.
Shazren is trying his best to try to get himself back into this race lead, but he knows the race is not over yet. But he also knows that the time is running out. And you can see here, Kento Kai still trying to struggle against overtaking at Sky. As you can see here, Goyena might be also be joining into the mix as well. Now it's gonna be Kento Kai's turn of shuffling out of Dunlop curve, and Shazren is gonna try to steal him the race lead back.
It's intense, but I think Shazren managed to finally do it. And now, obviously, they're gonna probably be under pressure once again by Kento Kai eventually. And speaking of being under pressure, this middle section is still absolute hell. I would not want to be here. Like, oh my god, I hate these gaps so much.
Danilo Goyena, meanwhile, is defending for dear life in this for 5th place right now. Obviously, winner of the Split B and overall Split Championship in Formula Hololive this season. Right now, Goyena is going to try to stake his claim into trying to get a good result for Sada Pecora in Hololive GT3. Kento Kai is trying to get very close here to Shazren Reza. A lot of battles left, right, and center across the circuit. It's going to be anyone's game for any position. If you blink, that's probably game over. But meanwhile, Fumi is still hanging around in the top 10. It's also a nice sight to see. Meanwhile, that's not where we want to see the battles take place, because right now we're looking at Nakamura, we're looking at Cashew, Sinful, Rod, and all that stuff. Meanwhile, I also want to take a look into Shazren Reza trying to defend recently from Kento Kai.
But it didn't look like Kento Kai really launched anything. They was really looking for a good opportunity, but knowing Kento Kai, he's the aggressive go-getter. He'll find a way.
As in finding any spot that he can find here. And I just wanted to remind you all that Kento Kai is absolutely lethal behind the wheel. He's absolutely regarded as one of the few most dangerous drivers in terms of driving ability alone. This time, Shazren might really need to think about his next move on Ed Sky. Will he try to attempt a move around the outside to get into the dirty side of Dunlop? Or will he try to play it safe? And right now, as it stands, it's gonna be the latter just a bit. But right now, Shazren is gonna try to defend as much as he can. I think they're still gonna be side by side. I don't think they're gonna be side by side because Kento Kai have just retaken the race lead once again.
But that lap car is still causing a bunch of trouble for just about all, like, what? Oh my god, that is a very crucial ice patch of snow right there, as I'll call it.
Speaking of Kento Kai currently currently showing to everyone that he's still got pace. He's gonna try to bring the Akirosa to Lexus the second win of Hololive GT3 for this season. Shazren is going to try to bring his 6th win of Hololive GT3, which will be a record-breaking amount of wins for a singular driver in Hololive GT3 and for a single Hololive member. Shazren is looking for himself and Luna's 6th win in Hololive GT3, and right now all he needs to see through is basically Kento Kai playing chicken at the most inappropriate possible time for Shazren to try to make a move. And as we were about to say this, we're gonna take a short. I'm gonna take a short break, a short toilet break. Z, I'll let you fill in on the details.
Unless some battle happens, I am not able to change any like cameras or driving or anything. So I would just like to apologize for that as Shazren goes to the bathroom and that's everything. But looking at the gaps at the moment, we have 0.4s and 0.7 for Shazren Redza. So somehow losing touch, at least for now. I'm not necessarily sure, especially because Kento Kai is in lap traffic, but we'll see how that plays out eventually. Minor lag spike. Alright, hold on, I gotta get into position. Alright, so Shazren Redza, okay, I switched positions one time. I blinked and Shazren Redza just took over Kento Kai. Okay, there is a lot going on now, I guess.
Anyways, we have Sean Pauli trying to defend against Daniel Barger there, but Daniel Barger manages to get one back against Sean Pauli. You can see here side-by-side battles, left, right, and center. A lot of movements here. And as you can see here, Barger got overtaken by Pauli just for a short while, but not before Barger could get one back using the straight line speed of that Nissan. Meanwhile, as we've seen on the previous lap once again, it's another switcheroo between Shazren Redza and Kento Kai. This time Kento Kai gets himself into the dirty side of the lot, trying to overtake Ed Sky, but this time, and with that, Shazren Redza manages to steal something from Kento Kai. But right now, it's got the final laps are going to be a big question.
I'm still baffled at how I blinked and he just managed to steal that position. I am so mad. I am so enraged. But what is more important though is Mozzie and Pauli are once again trading positions. 17th, 18th, whatever.
So anyway,
18th, 17th, whatever. Yeah, go on.
So anyways, looking into the current situation here right now, we are currently coming into the final 6 laps of the Suzuka 500 here in Hololive GT3. And right now, looking into the current situation here at the moment, it's Kento Kai still in 2nd place here. And looking into the odd numbers, Kento Kai might be able to steal a race lead. I'm thinking that Shazren Redza might just be able to be in the race lead at the right place at the right time. Due to certain circumstances, because right now we're looking at the Callum Gibbons really hounding the back of Callum Gibbons there.
He's like, he's intimidating, but he isn't really doing much. He's just kind of like spectating everything that's going on. Like you said a couple laps ago, he just kind of has the popcorn out and he's watching the show.
And currently, Shazren Redza still trying to consolidate this race lead, bringing it into the race win for the first time in 2023 in Hololive GT3 for all the Lunites to see. But right now, I think even Kento Kai is struggling just a bit, and that might give Shazren Redza some kind of breathing space coming into the end of this race here. The final stages have already commenced, and right now, it could be a case of any of these 4 drivers who are coming out with a win. But obviously, the biggest percentage holders are coming into the top 2 spots with Perez and Gibbons as dark horses.
Yeah, especially with that, little patch of snow, ice pick, whatever you want to call it. Ed Sky is being a nuisance to anyone attacking, as they can't really overextend or else, they'll hit him, so...
Oh, and as you can see here, Kento Kai trying to get close to Shazren Redza, but I think he got way too close. I think he's disrupting his own line coming into the exit of the Casio Triangle Perez might want to find an opportunity, but also at the same time, Kai has the slipstream, which should alleviate some of the straight line woes that the Lexus cars are having right now. Lap 38 of this race, 5 laps to go, and I think it's just crunch time for all these drivers involved.
Yeah, looking at gaps in the actual positions that matter, we have 0.3, 0.4, and 0.3. So again, everyone is super close to each other, and it is chaos, and it's again everybody's game. And speaking of everybody's game, it's specifically Kento Kai's game right now, getting really close, attempting an overtake. Will he make it though?
Yes, he does.
He made it. He made it. All right. Is that a success? That is a successful overtake. Once again, switcherooing positions between Shazren and Kento Kai. Holy crap! This might be it.
This might not be it just yet, because it's a matter of who gets to be chickening out once again. You can see Shazren is gonna hope that Kento Kai chickens out at the wrong possible moment for Shazren to steal the race lead yet again. Shazren might have only 3 chances left coming into the end of lap 38, maybe 3 to 4 more chances for him to seize the opportunity. As you can see here, the race lead just switches over a lot of times. It's just like what we saw last year in the Suzuka postseason race, but this time we're looking at Kento Kai trying to make a move against at Sky, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Shazren is going to get pretty close. Let's see, Shazren is going to attempt a move at the exit of 130R coming into the Casio Triangle.
It is very possible, but sadly that doesn't mean it's guaranteed, and he didn't because he chickened out at the last second.
And because right now he needs to think about bringing this home. If he doesn't win this race, at least a second place should be fine as well. But that kind of just matches his best ever finish in the 2023 Hololive GT3 Japan Series season. And right now, it's still coming down to the wire on who's going to be winning it here in Suzuka. And looking into the current situation here, Shazren exits turn 2, still in second place. He knows he has a win possible for all the Lunites and Himemori Luna watching. And right, Callan Gibbons is trying to find a way to get past Perez for 3rd place. Meanwhile, at the back, there's not much battles brewing here. Everyone's just trying to stick around. You can see here, Kento Kai is struggling a lot against at Sky. And now this time, it's going to be Kento Kai. It's going to be shuffled at the back. Abdullah, what does he manages to defend?
Absolutely incredible racing going on right now. Kento Kai might be a bit too aggressive for their own good, really trying to clear that lap car, but that is a high risk, high reward. As soon as they clear that car, you're done. It's easy, it's over, like, for everybody else, because they're gonna have to clear that eventually, and everyone's kind of chickening out and doing it. So
meanwhile, it's not just the top 4 is going to be trying to find some opportunities. Look at the Goyena, Rod, Cashew, Nakamura, and Sinful trying to catch up to the leading pack right now.
Oh boy. Because what we needed was more cars in that little Congo line that's going on. That's formed a little bit, but I don't think that they'll really have a chance of shooting up all the way to the first. They do have quite a good chance of maybe jumping and using a couple positions though.
And looking into Shazren, will he get close enough once again onto Kento Kai's gap? The answer is going to be no. But obviously they have 3 laps to go in the Suzuka 500 race. Anything goes for everyone involved. Goyena's got to Callum Gibbons has dropped down to 7.8 seconds. And right now Shazren trying to find a way past Kento Kai. Kento Kai still struggling against at Sky, who is pulling away at the straight. No surprise here, but look at the gap that Kai is pulling against Shazren. This shows you the tire wear between the two is very much apparent for everyone to see, but Shazren is coming close.
It is very nerve-wracking as we are on about 2 laps remaining. There are not very many chances left for Shazren to steal the lead, from Kento Kai, and the idea of Shazren stealing the lead in the championships is also crushed too, so they're basically racing for their own dignity.
But I think it's still possible for Shazren to steal something out in the end, because right now he still has second place, and he still has the possibly the lead in the postseason standings. But for the overall standings, that could come undone, unfortunately. As you can see here, Kento Kai is literally showing that he's got pace in the corner. Shazren, I think, has lost that, and it looks to me that Shazren is currently being very distraught at the moment. He knows he's got a chance, but he only has over 2 laps left.
It is very weird to see a gap this long, not gonna lie, even if it's just 0.5. I'm so used to them being so close to each other.
But Scratch Dash, Shazren is gonna try to make a move at the exit of Spoon. They're now side by side. Shazren exits ahead of Kento Kai exiting Spoon, coming into 130R. Shazren has the straight line speed. Shazren is able to hang on to the lead right now. And now, looking at Anita Perez, trying to pounce on the opportunity against Kento Kai once again.
Is this the baby first row lockout? Probably not, but that would be pretty fun. But Kento Kai now, suddenly the underdog in this position with about, I think is it 2 or 1 left to go? I forgot. But
We're at the penultimate lap of this race.
yes, so basically, Kento Kai needs to utilize the corners to his advantage, as Shazren does not do good at cornering whatsoever. So there is like plenty of corners on this track, so you gotta hope that you can find an opportunity.
But looking at everyone's dogfighting against each other, everyone's tires are basically worn at this point, and now Shazren is gonna be the next driver to be shuffled off at the back, and now that's gonna open the door for Kento Kai once again. And Kento Kai is gonna probably steal the race lead once again, but Shazren knows that with Kento Kai's own declining tires, Shazren might steal it right at the death.
It is very, very nerve-wracking right now, looking at all this just downright messy dogfight of the first position. Horrible to look at, but also very, very cool to look at. So
horrible to look at if you're Shazren, very cool to look at if you're Kento Kai. All of the Rosenthal are absolutely watching in absolute tense atmosphere for both the Rosenthal and all the Lunites watching. And as you can see here, Kento Kai messes up the exit of Spoon Curve once again, and now allows Shazren to go side by side once again. It's another switcheroo of positions.
This is so dumb.
It's probably dumb if you're Rosenthal, but you can see Shazren retakes the lead once again. There's contact between the two. Oh, and I think that might be crucial, but at least Shazren keeps it on the track, and now Anita Perez is gonna try to make a massive upset into the Shazren once again, and that will allow Kento Kai to have a lot of breathing space coming into the final lap of this race. Perez is gonna go side by side against Shazren, and as you can see here, Shazren has chances of getting the first win for the Lunites, and Himamori Luna is about to come undone after that contact by Kento Kai on the penultimate lap.
Oh, this is so dumb. This is so dumb. But more importantly, however, we have even more position changes as Goyena takes a position from Gibbons, and then Perez just took Shazren's position, and Gibbons just took Goyena's position back, and Gibbons is also very close to Shazren. So this is all becoming undone. This dream is starting to become a nightmare.
And now looking into Anita Perez, he might have a chance to take the race lead for the first time since the pit stop cycles. And now you can see here Perez trying to get close into Shazren. There's a massive beehive at the front of the field into the final lap of this race. Gibbons is trying to defend as much as he can, but he loses out to Daniel Goyena, who actually overtakes Gibbons for 4th place. Shazren is going to try to find a way past these two drivers in one fell swoop. Maybe if he can find an opportunity come in the end, he might have a chance. But looking into Kento Kai, who often understeers into the exit of Spoon Curve and now allows Perez to maybe steal an opportunity. Perez might have a chance to win this race after all.
Okay, we're in theory territory now. We're just writing fan fiction at this rate. Alright, Perez's chances are small, but I mean, I've said that a lot this race and I've been proven wrong, so let's see where this goes.
Anyways, I need Perez having the best chance yet to steal a lead from Kento Kai. I need Perez comes down the outside of 130 yards. This could be it. Could be the battle for the race win. And as you can see here, oh, the two leaders can't make contact. And you can see here, Kento Kai absolutely has his car messed up. It could come down to the wire.
It's over. It's actually over.
Kento Kai coming into the line to score his first win in Hololive GT3. The second win for Aki Rosenthal. Kento Kai wins in dramatic fashion at the 2023 Suzuka 500.
Was it worth it though? What about all those poor souls along the way that they were, oh my god, that was so dumb.
That was massive. We got treated to a massive final lap battle here. What more could you ask for in Hololive GT3 as Kento Kai scores his first win of 2023 and the second win for the Aki Rosenthal car. For all the Rosenthals watching, you have been watching one of the best finishes in ARO history as we speak.
That was certainly something for I was not expecting two spinouts at once. Thankfully, Shazren, Reza, and Perez still were able to get points and everything, but man oh man did they scuff up bad in the end.
It was massive. There was contact at the exit of 130R. There was nothing between the two. Reza could have sought out for the chance, but he settled for second. That's his second place finish that he had so far, and that would mean that, oh, as you can see here, a lot of drivers actually get stuck in for some reason. You can see here everyone just parks it because for some reason they just want to take a break. Oh, you can see here Fumi has a bit of an issue.
Oh my god, that is so ugly.
Ugly for the right and wrong reasons. You can see here Ed Sky coming across the finish line to be the last driver to come to the finish line. None of the finishers in this race have been lapped, and we have been treated to one of the most amazing races in ARO history. What we're looking into, that was just insane. But anyways, we're just gonna go into the intermission to get you guys the rundown of the race results. Just as Sky finally crosses the line to finish in 34th. And with that out of the way, we're gonna cap off this race. We're looking into the massively crazy race results. Kento Kai, first win of his career, and the second win for Aki Rosenthal in 2023, seals off what has been one of the most dramatic races in ARO history. Shazren Reza, who started out on pole, is gonna end up being the bridesmaid once again in second place. Daniel Goyena ends up finishing third for Usada Pecora, the best ever finish for the Pecora car in the 2023 Hololive GT3 season. Callan Gibbons finishes fourth. Richie Rod fifth in his return. Nakamura sixth. Johan Sinful seventh. Cashew eighth. Perez ninth. And Hofumi rounds out the top 10. Perez was in the battle for the race lead before being given contact for all of that stuff. But right now the results are provisional as we're about to check the replay to see what has happened. Rim Olgor 11 for Zarzbaru, and then we have Shaka Reza 12, Farah Kamal 13, Salman 14, Kalak 15, Duciem 16th, Barger 17th, Mazdi 18th, Paulie 19th, and Raja Kaczynski in 20th. And in 21st place onwards is Miyuki and Tanarao. Ketakaboshi in 23rd. She has got to be very excited to see her fellow mate Kento Kai finally being able to score a win. Cesaro Leo finishes 24th, Fabi Mendes 25th, Leo 26th, Richie 27th, Turner 28th, Reba 29th, and Jeff Rohan rounds out the top 30 spots, the last of the points finishers. Zeke Wembley would end up finishing outside the points after a poor strategy alongside Dan Evans, Takeda Arachi, and Ed Sky. And for Chongo Lyle, it's been a race to forget for him as he has been involved in a lap 1 crash. So speaking of which, let's take a look into the replay to see what has happened to the lot of these drivers, especially for Sean Goliath, who obviously got into a contact with Nakamura. So let's just go on board with Nakamura to see what has happened on lap 1. So here's Nakamura. You can see here a lot of Constantino effect. You can see here Goliath on the left side. Let's see what happens next.
Alright, you got your dash cam footage. You know it's probably going to be bad. And they went offline and T-bones. Okay, yep, just got hit like a baseball on a home run. Yeah,
and that has got to hurt. As you can see here, obviously the biggest loser has got to be the likes of Sean Goliath. And as you can see here, let's go for another onboard shot, especially for the rear end onboard. And as you can see here, here is Sean Goliath coming into the exit of the assist. You can see here Sean Goliath was actually trying to find a way past Mohamed Cashew, who's actually had a very poor exit. And he was under pressure from Cal Gibbons at one point. And now coming into the onboard tier, got into contact with him, spun out, and then gets collected by Nakamura.
Yeah, that was very nasty, although somewhat coordinated.
So anyways, coming into the onboard Mama Cashew, let's see what happens on his onboard, see what has happened. See, as we mentioned, it's dirty side of download. There's a lot of marbles on the edge of the track here. That's not where you really want to be. Cashew tries to defend on the inside of Dagner. You can see here pushes Goliath off, and that's been very messy.
Yeah, that was very, very oddly like coordinated and everything with like the 1 knock, 2 knock, you know.
And we will take a look at Darnita Perez. This is what the onboard you may want to take a look into. Here's Perez on board. Perez into the final few corners of the final lap. Perez knows he's got an opportunity to go against Kento Kai. Let's see if Perez is actually ahead of the corner. And as you can see here, there was actually contact between Kento Kai and Perez, but Perez actually manages to continue.
I'm genuinely surprised he was able to continue after that. That looked like, I actually thought Team Baby was over for a second there, because you could see how badly he got body broke there.
So anyways, on board Kento Kai. Oh, I think that was ugly. I think that was ugly. I don't think Kento Kai had the cleanest of runs here, but obviously it's gonna be pretty borderline to know if this is actually gonna be a move worthy of a penalty. But it's gonna be, like I said, it's actually very, very messy. I mean, if we look at the
I'm still impressed that Perez was still able to just go through after that, because that looked like a crash that could end someone, because they were getting like completely like flung around and everything, and even like went backwards for a little bit.
Now it's gonna be a bit of a tentative result here, because we are looking into an investigation on whether or not Kento Kai should be able to keep this result, because I think that's an unavoidable contact. Because if you know your results, you look into what has happened, you actually wanted to ask if that contact was actually avoidable, because I feel like the contact is avoidable in Kento Kai's respect. So obviously, we're gonna be investigating this result sometime further. And right now we are gonna be in a case of uncertainty, as we are gonna be taking a look into the championship standings here in for the overall standings here. This time we're not going to be showing you the postseason standings. We'll be updating that on the ARO server. We're going to be checking if Kento Kai is going to be getting a penalty for the contact with Perez, because I believe Perez was completely ahead. So we're gonna be investigating this after the race. So right now the results are not final, and after Kento Kai's provisional win, he now sits about nearly 60 points ahead of Shazren in second place, Gibbons in third, Rod fourth, and with Casio fifth, Sinful 6th, Barger 7th, Clark 8th, Nakamura 9th, and Salaman running out of top 10. Ziski Goyena and Tanara Golile and Fumi rounding out the top 15 spots. Olgor, Leo, Perez, Takaboshi, and Paulie rounding out the top 20. Coming from 21st to 25th, Chakareza with his good run finally gets out of the bottom portions and now is just under it. Zeke Wimberley 22nd, Ducey 23rd, Richie 24th, and Reilly 25th. Turner 26th, Mazzy 27th, Farakawa 28th, Miyuki 29th, and Fabio Menez running out of top 30. Riba, Adachi, Sky, Rohan, and Evans will round out the top 5 spots, and that will be it for the overall standings. So anyways, everyone, we're just going to be going on the mission for one last time. We're going to be updating you if Kento Kai is going to be receiving a penalty, because I believe that is avoidable contact, and Kento Kai still made contact with Perez because Perez was ahead of Kento Kai. So we're going to be keeping all of you updated on the Adak-RMS Twitter or /X to tell you if of the new race results. But whatever the case is, we hope you guys have enjoyed this amazing race that we've seen so far, even if this race might end up with penalties. I'm Mama Shazren, alongside me, Zeke Wimberley in the commentary booth, and you've been watching the Suzuka 500 Hololive GT3 race of the 2023 Hololive GT3 Japan Series postseason.